slide. So let's go into hypersonics. Let's go ahead and start the video at the bottom. This is the X-51 being launched from a B-52 at 50,000 feet. It's got an 8 TACMS booster. It accelerates up to Mach 4.8, climbs to 60,000 feet. And you'll see a puff of smoke. And when you see that puff of smoke, that is an indication that the 8 TACMS booster separated and the scramjet lit. I know it's not the most exciting video in the world. So the puff of smoke, that's where the 8 TACMS booster separated, scramjet lit, accelerated to Mach 5 plus. Again, it flew for 209 seconds until it ran out of fuel, and then we did some maneuvering before it crashed into the sea. A huge aviation milestone. I will tell you one thing, a good lesson learned from that program is one is that hypersonics and scramjet are real. The other lesson is failure. So that was the 4th flight of a 4-flight test program. The first flight, the scramjet lit, but didn't stay lit. It flew for under 10 seconds or so. But they consider, okay, one of the big technology risk areas is being able to light the scramjet at Mach 4.8. So if you ever tried to light a cigar on the golf course on a windy day, it's hard. Can you imagine going at 4.8? It's really hard. But they got it lit. So they said, okay, we kind of understand the envelope now. So they considered it a good success. The second flight, it did not light. So said, okay, we got to go back and do a lot more evaluation. It was, on one hand, to be considered a complete failure. On the other hand, it was much more important than even the first flight. So they went back and redesigned the inlet. The third test, one of the fins broke off while it was accelerating. So it was kind of a no test. I mean, it wasn't really an opportunity to test the scramjet. And there was actually discussions on should we cancel the 4th one or not. But within an S&T environment, you have to protect the opportunity to fail, or else you're not going to make any real progress. Now, it's one thing if you're an acquisition program and you're going to IoT and E, no, you don't want to fail then. But you have to understand in early R&D and S&T, there's going to be failures. But they went ahead with the 4th one, huge success, and again, really added momentum to the program. And what does hypersonic bring, especially in an A2AD environment? Well, it brings survivability, and it brings the ability to hit time-sensitive targets. Next, please. So here's kind of our just a very high-level roadmap of where we're going in AFRL. First thing, we're going to concentrate on weaponizing it, turning into a cruise missile. And we have 2 programs that we partner with DARPA. We're both throwing in $300 million each. And at the bottom there, it shows HAWK. That's hypersonic air-breathing weapons concept, basically a scramjet. And then another program, Tactical Boost Glide, where we're just going to accelerate it to hypersonics, and then it glides in. And we're working both of those programs, again, with DARPA, and we're going to have demonstrations within the next 5 years on both of those. Probably, the highest risk area from a weapon aspect is a seeker. So if you're going to hit time-sensitive targets, you have to have a seeker in the end game to hit mobile targets. And integrating a seeker in the front of that platform is going to be, right now, the biggest technical challenge. As we move up into the 2030 time frame, well, now we're going to scale up. And that MSCC stands for Medium Scale Critical Components. So, hey, can we build kind of an ISR or maybe a strike platform? But by 2030, it's not going to be a weapons system that we would consider a totally fielded system like we have today. It might be recoverable, not necessarily reusable. I mean, it might take days to turn it as opposed to a 4-hour combat quick turn, and maybe limited service life. But we're doing, really not a huge amount of investment right now, but enough to mature the tech base to kind of understand what kind of capability we can have in the 2030 time frame. And then in the 2040, if we make the right investments, that's where you'd have a fully reusable, combat-ready, persistent hypersonic vehicle.